Hey, friends. Been a long time since I've done one of these. Life has been little bit crazy in the last few months. For those of you who don't know me, Dr. Jenny here. So, I'm traveling right now and I get back home on Friday, Thursday, whatever it is, and then we move Sunday. So, things are crazy right now. But then in the midst of all of that, also going and seeing clinics and packing our entire house and doing all of the things right now. And on top of that, Mercury's in retrograde, lots of fun. So it just got me thinking, like, there's lots of shit going on right now, and holy crap, things are crazy, which of course is why I haven't done any of these lives for a little while. But of course, being me, it really got me thinking. Hi, Amy. When I'm working with clients and semi-programs and things like that, we always talk about, obviously boundaries is one of the really big subjects that we talk about, right? But we talk about how there's two different kinds of boundaries. And the one that all of us think about when we say the word boundaries are what we call the external boundaries, which are things like a boundary between me and a client, or me and a boss, or me and a parent or sibling or friend or whatever, right? Those are all external boundaries. If you've been following me long at all, you've heard me talk about internal boundaries, which are the boundaries that we set with ourselves. And internal boundaries are technically the more important ones because they have a bigger impact on how we're feeling on a day-to-day basis. And when we set good internal boundaries, it actually makes it easier to set external boundaries. And internal boundaries obviously are not quite as intuitive all the time. Like, the external boundaries are pretty obvious. Hey, my body feels funny, I feel frustrated, I'm getting angry, whatever it is, obviously I need a boundary. But we don't think about the internal ones as much. So these last 2 weeks, I don't know what is going on, but everybody feels to me just a little shorter, a little snappier, a little more easily frustrated, right? Including myself, including my husband, and I keep reminding me and him that we're like in the middle of a big move and I'm still traveling. So of course we're tired and frustrated, but still. But like, this has been a theme of the last few weeks. And I've had a bunch of conversations with people about like, hey, so what's going on that's like, what is flaring for you right now? What's causing this level of frustration and this level of irritation and this level of just general, like, fuck everything kind of shit, right? And most people haven't been able to tell me. They are just like, I don't know. I just, like, sometimes they'll be able to tell me things like, oh, we've just been busy lately, or I haven't been feeling great lately, or whatever. But most people haven't really been able to give me a solid answer, which is not surprising, by the way. That's totally normal. But the problem is that when there's not like a specific thing that's bothering us, it usually means that there's been a whole bunch like that's just accumulated, and we've just kind of finally hit that threshold, right? We're finally like, I don't care anymore. I don't want to deal with any of this. I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to deal with things. I don't want to deal with whatever. But because it is that gradual buildup, it comes on slow enough that we often don't even realize what's happening until all of a sudden we turn around and I'm sitting here asking you, why are you snippy? Now, of course, my husband is my version of this, right? He's the one who looks at me and goes, Jenny, what's wrong with you? So we start to, all that stuff starts to build. The catch is, or the good thing is, hi, Mary, that it doesn't have to be this way. But we often don't realize, A, that we're getting to that frustrated point, but also that there is something that we can do about it. We don't have to sit with our frustration. We don't have to sit with our annoyance, I guess would be a good word, at what all is going on around us. We don't have to put up with the negative emotions that we're dealing with. We can make a different choice. And this is where boundaries come in. The problem is, there was once upon a time in my life where I didn't want to make a different choice because I much preferred to focus on how annoying everybody around me was being. I'm just grumpy because that client was annoying, or my husband was driving me crazy, or the kids kept me awake at night, or whatever it is. All those things might be true. They might still be true. But we have the choice of not only how we react to them, but we also have the choice of how much we let that into our energy, into our being, into our emotions and everything, right? We can make a different choice. And when we make a different choice, we can therefore create a different reality. So I can decide, hey, I'm not going to play this. I get that things are happening right now that I'm not loving. I don't really want to deal with any of this. I'm going to choose to not be annoyed by it. Now, of course, you all know, you can choose to not be annoyed. It's not that simple, right? It's not that simple. But what we can then do is once we've made the choice, we can actually start to create the distance between us and whatever's going on. We can literally physically start to picture ourselves in our heads. We can picture ourselves distancing. We can picture ourselves being wrapped in a bubble or wrapped in saran wrap or something like that that keeps all the negative stuff out of our area. We can choose to do things like, okay, what do I need right now? I need to go breathe some fresh air. I need to go put my feet in the grass. I need to go do this thing that will help me feel rebalanced. We can choose to simply go sit for 5 minutes because deep breathing will help that fight or flight reaction calm down, right? But we can choose what we're allowing to get to us. And it's not always that simple because a lot of times by the time we recognize what's going on, we're already all amped up and frustrated and annoyed. But once we recognize it, then we can go, no, I'm not going to play this game. I'm not going to be annoyed. I'm going to wrap myself in a bubble wrap and everything's going to bounce off of me. And once we literally choose to not let these things bother us as much and we create whatever visualization we need to create that actual distance between us and all the things that are frustrating us, you can literally feel your energy shift. You can feel all the things start to melt away and the frustrations start to melt away. And it can create a whole different situation. And the reason that this is powerful is both because we feel better, obviously when we're not as tense and frustrated and annoyed, but also because we deal with the problems better. We deal with the people better. We deal with the situation better. It's really, really, really hard to deal with those situations, A, well at all, and B, without getting further wound up when we're already wound up, right? But when we can start to create that separation, we can start to feel better and we can start to deal with things better. And part of, if you're struggling with the bubble wrap analogy, things like that, part of what this boundary consists of is that recognition that all of these things that are out here, all these frustrations, can't do anything to us. They're completely separate from us. They can make us frustrated if we let them. And I'm not saying this is always easy. Again, remember, you are wired to the patterns that you've been showing. So if you get frustrated really easily, I was there once upon a time, for sure. That's how my brain was wired. And I had to start to work on rewiring it to get to the point where I didn't get frustrated as easily. And even then, sometimes, like this week, it still gets pushed a lot. Like I still have to pull out all these techniques again, but it gets easier. But part of why this is so powerful is because it is that realization of all those things out there, they don't have anything to do with me. They're not about me. They're separate from me. And so even when I feel like everything is exploding around me, I'm still standing right here. I'm still okay. My family is still okay. All the things that I need to be okay are okay. And these things can't actually affect me. There's bubble wrap around me. They can't affect me. And it's just one of those mental games. It's a boundary that we can place internally with ourselves that literally changes how those interactions go. When we start to see ourselves as distant and as separate from all of those things, they can't bother us as much anymore. So I don't know what is going on lately, if it is the Mercury retrograde or if it's, I don't think we're coming up on a full moon. We all know how that goes. I don't know what's going on, but like it definitely, everybody is more stressed lately. So I'd encourage you to try some of this stuff. Just picture yourself as separate. Picture yourself floating above the scene. Picture yourself wrapped in bubble wrap, whatever it takes to create that separation. When the clients are yelling, when the schedule's too busy, when the staff or whatever it is, like whatever the situation is, when the partner is being annoying, picture yourself as separate. Picture yourself as like you're watching it on a movie scene. So like you're up here watching it on a movie scene, you're wrapped in bubble wrap, whatever visualization helps to create that separation from the scene that's happening in your head. And you'll feel your emotions start to come down, and you feel the frustration and the anxiety start to come down. It can happen that fast. And in the beginning, you might have to do it a few times because you're wired for the stress, for the anxiety, for the frustration. But the more you do this and the more you teach your body, your nervous system, hey, there is another way, the more easily that begins to happen. So let me know if you try it. Let me know how it goes for you. Hi, Mandy. And if you know anybody who is feeling this sense of stress and doesn't quite know what to do about it, first of all, please share this with them because we are here to help. We are here to make a difference. We are here to help people live their best lives. And the first step to that is often getting this anxiety and frustration under control, right? But also, our Happy Vet Challenge starts on Monday, and we talk about a lot of this stuff in the 5 days of the Happy Vet Challenge. So make sure you have registered for that. You can go to happyvetchallenge.com and you can register for the challenge, because the truth is that these little tiny changes, especially when we start to teach our nervous system to respond differently, so it's not in automatic default modes anymore that aren't serving us, right? We really truly can change our entire being in the vet field. And then once we change those little baby steps, like it literally cascades into everything changing, including jobs and all that kind of stuff. But those little baby steps are where we have to start, because we can't just wave a magic wand and fix the field. Wouldn't that be nice? But we can start with the little baby steps for ourselves, change what we can for ourselves, and that has a ripple effect out into the field. So if this resonated at all, if this helps at all, definitely share it with anybody who might need it. And make sure you're signed up for the challenge, happyvetchallenge.com, because we are starting next Monday, the 21st. Let me know if you try this. Definitely remember that you can put yourself first. You can make a difference for your own happiness just by little tricks like this. It really, truly works. If you don't believe me, I challenge you to try it for a week. And let me know if you have any questions. I will talk to you soon.